There we go. Okay.
Awesome.
So what we basically want to do is we want to build this past, and then we're going to use this to create a surface to trim it back.
Hmm.
So we've got this edge here, and like I said, I was going to try to just do an extrude, but if we look at it from a top view, this curves in. So what I'll try to do is I'm going to do a boundary surface, and the reason I'm doing a boundary surface is because if it's a loft, I have to have a start and a finish.
Hmm.
We don't have that. We just have a start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loft, and we'll select that. Oh no. Let's just see here. And the reason I'm using the selection manager is because I can't loft a closed loop. So I'm just selecting the curves that I want to loft.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to select an edge. We'll select that edge. And then we're going to, you can see it doesn't quite close off, so we want to select that edge.
Hmm. Nice.
Now, here's the thing that we have going on. So that's the start of what we want to do. Okay? But if we come up, when we go to the top view, you can see we've got this big gap out here.
Hmm.
So if we were just to dump in, if we were just to come in and do a boundary surface, or not a boundary, I'm sorry, a filled surface, it's going to give us a little bit of issue. Because it's not going to quite give us a flat surface. So it looks great, right?
Hmm.
Until I do this. And then see how the surface kind of just dives in?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what you want.
Yeah. I kind of want it um, to do that more at the top, like kind of curve into it from the top down.
Okay? So,
Yeah.
what we could do, so the next thing that we could do is we've got this basic surface. Let's see if we can just extend it past. So we're going to come in here and go extend. Now keep in mind when you use the extend command, it follows the natural progression of the surfaces. So if I was to eventually go too far, see how it
It would
starts
just be,
distorting itself?
yeah.
But we're only going to go a little bit. And we're going to get it like that. Okay. Now, you want to have it curve in a little bit up at the top. So what I want to do is I'm going to use this and I want to create a curve that I can sweep. I'm going to come in though and I'm going to create a reference curve. Because really I want it to curve in up at this area here. So I'm going to build my curve here. So I'm going to go insert, and I'm sorry you're going to hate my video now. I get too lax and I sit way too far back and then it doesn't catch the audio. I'm going to go insert reference geometry and we're going to insert a plane. We're going to flip the direction. Oops, we're going to flip the offset. And we'll just go somewhere, we'll go somewhere in there. Do you know how big your speaker is?
I think I have the dimensions in the sketch. Let me check it real quick. Or maybe not in the sketch, but I think I have them in my book. Let me look. If not, they should be defined in the. Oh wait, they are in here. 22 centimeters tall.
Oh, okay. So just a tiny speaker.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
okay.
I think that I might have.
Because your width of your speaker, I was just looking at it, is only like 3 inches. So I was
Yeah.
envisioning this being like a big floor speaker, so never mind.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do now though is we're going to draw a sketch plane. Now I'm going to draw a sketch and I'm going to hide that other surface first because it's blocking our view. So I'm going to draw a sketch or a spline. And what I'm going to do is I need it to make sure that it's snapped to that edge. So I'm going to select the dot, I'm going to select the edge, I'm going to select the line, and I'm going to say pierce it. So now it's right there. Because it has to be touching in order to sweep.
Right.
So let's then come to our view. And we'll just do this. We're going to add a little bit of a curve. We'll pull that in like that. And I'm not going to get too fussy because this is going to be more for you to play with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that. Now what I'm going to do is I've got this other surface. So I need to create this so I can trim it back. So I'm going to take this curve, and this time we can use swept. And we're going to say, we're going to sweep this, and we're going to sweep it along this edge. But there was multiple edges. So I have to go Selection Manager, because that basically allows me to pick multiple edges or multiple curves. And I will grab that. That. And that. And we'll say yes. And why is it not giving me what I want? Where's my surface? Why did my sweep operate? I always love when it says it failed. Why did it fail?
So helpful.
Okay, so let's try something different. So if a swept, like again, mathematically, swept is the, well, actually extruded surface is the cheapest, lowest end surface you can get.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's just not powerful enough. So let's just do a boundary surface. I like boundary surfaces because it causes so few problems. And we're going to come in here, we're going to go Selection Manager. Oh, why don't you want to give me my surface? What the heck? Oh, because I did so. Shoot. I clicked. See, late at night, I'm going to sit there for the next hour figuring out why my boundary surface doesn't work. Meanwhile, it doesn't work because I selected lofted versus boundary. Okay, so let's try this again, grabbing the right one. So next direction, we'll go Selection Manager. There we go.
Yay.
So now, well, we'll wait and see if it gives us the shape that we want. So you can kind of see that it follows that curve all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's not giving me, like if I want it more curved up there, but I want it straight down here, then I'm going to have to draw another curve
Mm-hmm.
to give it more control. So if we now come back and show that, Well, we can see that we don't have, it's not quite long enough. So I'm gonna cheat. Because we're doing rendering surfaces. We're not doing production surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take that edge and I'm just gonna extend it like I did the other ones so that it completely intersects. So now we've got that. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna trim the surfaces. And what we're gonna do is we have two surfaces and we want to keep parts of each surface. So that's called a mutuals trim. And it says, what surfaces do you want? We want to trim this surface and this surface. Now, you come down here, you can either click what you want to keep or click what you want to remove. That comes down to how many clicks is it going to take. We're just going to say we're going to keep, and I want to keep this part. Oops, hold on. You got to make sure you're in there and it's yellow. I want to keep this part. And I don't know why it makes the part that you want to keep invisible. Like, whatever. And we want to keep that. So now those parts are gone. And that's
Oh,
what we got.
nice.
And they're
Yeah.
stitched together. Now, depending on what you're doing, if you're just doing the exterior, this looks fine. It's not stitched there though. You know, now there's no radius on here either. So I would have put, you know, you would probably have to build these surfaces a little bit past to get those radiuses on there. Or what you do is you say, okay, great, now I'm at the point where I want to put a radius on these parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit this with this with this, and we're going to knit it.
Is that going to be an issue when you take it into KeyShot? Like, does that make it all one body?
It does, but you can also apply just to the material, just to the faces.
Okay.
You know, or what we can do is you can sit there and say, okay, well, I'm going to put a radius in here now. So let's just go with radius. Because the problem is if I put a radius before where this isn't knitted, then this will be weird looking.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have that radius built in. But what you can do is come in, we're going to go fillet. Okay, ready. Okay, it's going to make putting a fillet in a pain. And the reason it's going to be a pain is because it wants to follow this. Oh, you've got just a slight radius there. So it's trying to go from here all the way down in here.
Oh. Could we do like a variable?
You could do a
fillet?
variable. Yep. And have that go to 0.
Okay.
What we could also try to do is go back a step. And what you can do, no, because even no matter what you do, it's gonna leave a gap in there. Because if I hide this, yeah, what I would do is I would put the variable radius onto the surfaces and have it go to 0 down here.
Okay. Yeah,
This-
that is very helpful. Thank you.
Or you know what? No. What am I talking about? So instead of doing that, let's figure something else out here.
Okay.
So if we come in and we go surfaces, and let's just go thicken. We're just going to put a 1 millimeter. Oh, you bastard. Why? That little piece. That
Oh.
little piece. Okay, do the variable radius.
Okay. All right.
Let me save this. Do you want the file?
Yes, please.
I like that laughing. Yes, please.
And then last thing. So for
No. Sorry.
the actual like speaker, like when I take it into Keyshot, I can just use like a speaker texture. I don't have to like model that in SolidWorks, right?
No.
Sorry for the
No.
rendering, yeah.
Yeah. No, that is something that we haven't gotten into. But
Okay.
oh, there we go. Sorry. Oh no. Let me close out this. I don't want to save over that. Don't save. Your speaker came into my other model.
Oh no.
So for something like this, yeah, like you can literally, if it's a fabric, oops, material, you can do, real cloth I find never works for me, but there are materials. Now you can see how the holes are too big.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of coming and scaling it down. Like 1 millimeter is pretty big for a thread on a speaker.
Yeah.
So, you know, in what I like to do is find out what threads, you know, would actually be used for and actually on this one I would cheat and call one of my friends who did speakers for Polk Audio. But versus you, like, and the reason I'm saying like find that information for that reference because
Mm-hmm.
it helps you to get much more realistic. You know, um, it also shows when you're doing the renderings, like, hey, that person looks at it and says,